Cool, thanks very much, Dave. Yeah, so I think some of you will have heard about the book already, because I think there's been a few tweets on Twitter and a post on Stardot about the book. I think actually maybe a couple of you might also be contributors to it. This is the book. I've got the advanced copy here. It's called Acorn: A World in Pixels, and it's something that I've personally been kind of hoping would exist for a few years now. I think some of you will have seen there have been kind of similar kinds of books for other platforms like the Spectrum and the Commodore, and I think there's probably a few kicking around for things like the Nintendo, the original Nintendo Entertainment System or Famicom. But there's not up until now. There's not really been anything that's kind of been a celebration of the games for the BBC Micro and the Acorn Electron, and that's essentially what this book really is. A little bit of background to it. So earlier this year, the publisher of the book got in touch with me and told me a bit about what they were planning to put together. Back then, I didn't really know exactly what this would look like, but he asked if I'd be interested in contributing a few write-ups about some of the games that he was going to feature in the book. I had no idea at that point what the scale of this book was going to be. I mean, you can probably tell from the size of it. This is nearly 500 pages long. And it is really a run through of not just the games for the sort of Acorn computers, but it's got a whole series of interviews, which you can kind of see in the index here. A whole series of interviews with some of the sort of big names behind a lot of these games. That includes the publishers of the game, so names from Superior Software, Acorn Soft, Micropower, etc. And not just those publishing houses. We've got interviews with all of the kind of really significant publishing houses of Acorn games, and then a really long section of pretty much all of the major games that I think people would remember from either when you played these games when you were younger, like I did, or indeed for those of you like me who still play them now. And it's a really nice mixture of either sort of commentary from people who wrote the games. So in a lot of cases, it's the actual developers of the games who've contributed a little write-up about it and some of the background to how the games were put together. In some cases, there's little sort of snippets from people like me and others who just really love the games and have given a write-up about their kind of impressions of the game, memories of the game, what those games mean to them. There's some really, really lovely artwork in the book. So it does a really good job of really showcasing the artwork of some of these games, using the original 8-bit graphics. But in other cases, there's some brand new artwork in here as well. So the cover is obviously a really good example of that. I think you'll have seen some screenshots of that, but it doesn't just stop there. I mean, there are some really lovely bits of cover art that have been redone specifically for the book. I'm trying to find a good example I was looking at earlier today. Yeah, there we go. So like the codename droid here for Strikers Run 2. Some really lovely like full page spreads of some of these cover arts. And the way that it's been designed as well is really nice. Like it kind of works the graphics of the game in and around the text, sort of talking about the game, and and kind of interwoven with some really nice, as I say, splash art like that. And it's just something that, I mean, I've only had the copy since Wednesday, so you'll appreciate I haven't managed to read every single piece in there just yet. But it is really, really lovely. Like it's clearly like what I would call something there's been a lot of love that's gone into it. Like it's been produced by people that really are passionate about these games and have a real love for the sort of Acorn gaming scene, both back in the day and obviously even now. There's some really good exclusives in here as well. So there's a foreword by Richard Hanson from Superior Software. So he's written the foreword for the book. There's a lovely interview with Ian Lee, the comedian, who talks about his kind of childhood experiences of owning a BBC Micro and what that meant to him. There's some really great interviews, obviously, with some of the big names, including an excellent, really long interview with both David Braben and Ian Bell. So we were looking at Elite just now. There's a really great section on devoted to Elite in the book, as you would expect, because it's really the most famous game for the Beeb. But yeah, there's interviews with other people who Nick Pelling, for example, who was on the last ABug. There's a really great interview with him talking about the games that he developed. There's a piece from Kevin Edwards in here. There's a really nice piece in here actually from the developer behind Fortress. He actually talks Matt Newman. So he talks about how he got the diagonal scrolling to work in Fortress, which if anyone's played Fortress, that's one of those things that kind of sticks out about the game. Is quite different from other games for the Beeb. So it's got a really nice mix, I think, of reflections and memories of what it was like to put those games together, as well as some quite sort of technical detail in some cases about what was involved in actually coding them. And I think overall for me, my kind of first impressions of it, given that up until now, until I received a copy of the book, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, because I'd really just been contributing the odd sort of write up here and there for certain games that IDESINE, the publishers, had asked for. But having now got it in my hands, it's a really, really lovely, like very high quality, like the production of it, it's a really good quality book. It's not something that's been put together cheaply at all. It really is lovely, and the very glossy kind of feel to the pages as well. It comes in this box as well, so it's got a nice kind of outer cover to sort of keep it safe, keep it safe and protected. But yeah, I appreciate it's hard to kind of really see it through a Zoom call. I mean, I keep holding it up, but you can't quite appreciate how good some of the pictures and artwork in it are. But yeah, I mean, look at that. You've even got some original drawings from Jeff Crammon there from his design of Revs. So yeah, it's a really good book to just explore and kind of sit down with and just page through, and not just for games necessarily that you're already familiar with, but also I've found it quite fun to read about some games that actually I wasn't as familiar with myself. So yeah, I mean, my first impressions of it are it's really great. It's coming out in a couple of weeks. I think it's November the 23rd, I think is when it's being released. But you can obviously pre-order it now. I think if you go to the publisher's website, it's available to pre-order. Not sure if anybody on the call has already pre-ordered it, but I mean, my view on it is it's a great book, and obviously I'm thrilled to have an advanced copy of it, but I'm definitely going to be getting a couple more copies for some friends of mine who I know will certainly appreciate it. So yeah, I will play the promotional video for it now, if that's all right. Just because that will give you a bit more of a flavour for some of the artwork that's in the book as well. So let's just try this again. Okay, hopefully that is coming up on screen. It says you're screen sharing, so please let me know if it's not working. hopefully that came through on the Zoom share not too badly. A couple of other things just to add about it as well is, I mean, obviously the people that were behind a lot of these games have, in some cases have kept in touch and are regular contributors to places like Stardot, but in a lot of cases, I think some of these people have kind of dispersed, and it's been a real kind of accomplishment, I think, to have tracked down pretty much everybody that it's been possible to track down to contribute to the book. Apart from a couple of exceptions, and in those cases, I think, sadly, because the people involved have passed away, since, I think pretty much everybody that you would think of who's kind of a big name in terms of developing the games, or being behind the sort of publication of the games, has managed to have been tracked down in some way, shape or form, either to give a full-on interview or to contribute some quotes and thoughts about the games. There's a really nice section at the end as well that focuses more on like what Acorn gaming and the kind of ABug community is like now. I think I'm right in saying, Tricky, that you're actually featured in that section as well. There's several write-ups around people that are still writing games today. I think also Andrew Waite is in there too. So yeah, it's a really lovely tribute, I think, to all things Acorn. Yeah, that was about as much as I had to say, and yeah, other than to say I do recommend it. If you haven't already considered getting a copy, I would definitely recommend it.
Okay, thanks very much, Colin.
Thank you.
I don't know how many other people in the call have got a pre-order in. I imagine there's quite a few. Has anybody else online at the moment pre-ordered it?
Not yet, but it's gone on my birthday list.
Yes, I have.
Nice.
Yeah, it's on my Christmas list.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to get here.
Was that Ed? Yeah.
Yep.
I think a few of the bit shifters have ordered theirs as well.
Yeah, I've seen on Twitter they've the bit shifters guys I think have picked it up as well. So yeah, and I just couldn't believe how many people he's managed to track down. There's some people I've been trying to track down for years and got nowhere, and he's rounded up, as Colin said, pretty much every author you'd expect to be in the book. He's managed to track down. So yeah,
it's a lot of book for the money as well.
It is quite a chunky book.
Colin, is it 460 or something, or 470?
Oh yeah, it is. Let's get the last page number on the last page. 467. Yeah. Yeah. And I should probably give a shout out to my mum, actually, because she proofread the book. So yeah.
Do you just want to hold it up one last time, Colin, clearly to the camera, because you're a bit low there, yeah, and yeah, it's a decent size, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
From some of
lovely.
the pictures, I wondered if it was actually A4 size, because it just looks like so much book. I mean, obviously it is.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's some really good camera trickery.
No weightlifting program.
So I haven't read it cover to cover yet, but if anyone did have any questions or is keen to know if a particular thing is in the book, I can either tell you straight away or at least check. I've got the index here. So.
You've had it since Wednesday, Colin. You're not finished it?
Unfortunately, that annoying thing called work gets in the way, sadly.